Snowdon, the highest mountain in Wales. Last year there were 88 climbing accidents here, which makes these guys, the unpaid volunteers of Llanberis Mountain Rescue, the busiest team in Britain, on call 365 days a year.
Today the team need a new volunteer, me, because they've just taken delivery of this, a Hummer H3, and they need a driver.
I'll be joining in on their training exercise to rescue an injured climber, which will give me the perfect chance to give the baby Hummer a pretty extreme road test. This is the only model in the mini military range available with right-hand drive, and prices start at a pretty reasonable 26,500 quid. This H3 Adventure is currently being passed around the country's mountain rescue teams for evaluation and costs £30,500. There are no chrome rims or widescreen TVs here. Apart from a few extra lamps and ladders, it's standard. And I'm keen to see whether it's a match for the rescuer's default choice, a Land Rover Defender.
OK, so the exercise is about to start. Now what usually happens is the 999 call gets filtered through to the headquarters here, and they find out that a walker or a climber has got themselves into a bit of a pickle. But there's an evaluation process that has to happen first. They won't come out to you if you're feeling a bit tired or you've run out of Kendal mint cake.
What's the name again, Ian? One of them's taken a tumble and has hurt her leg, can't move, lots of pain.
Once they've confirmed the call-out is an emergency, the team is briefed on the incident and we're off.
Let's get going.
And as well as rescuing our casualty, I was on a mission of my own.
What we've got to try and figure out is how something so very deeply American as this Hummer actually translates to somewhere so very deeply, well, Welsh.
It uses a 3.7-litre 5-cylinder engine with 244 brake horsepower. Despite weighing 2.6 tonnes, it hurls itself to 60 in 9.7 seconds. That's 5 seconds quicker than a Defender. Kind of important when you're en route to an emergency.
I mean, the weird thing about this, especially driving it down here, is that, for me, the edges of the bonnet aren't actually the edges of the car. We've got another 6 inches of wheel arch, so it's a bit weird to place.
Yeah, this has got a great presence and it's got a great image, I think, if that's what you need, but it's practicality we need.
Got to say, you do look fairly cosy in the back there, boys.
It's pretty tight, on the
yeah. Or something. Yeah. Do you ever have to sort of stretcher people down then?
Quite often. Now, if we can get the stretcher off by using a vehicle, obviously that's a downside easier than carrying one off for a few miles off the mountain.
And we were soon going to find out if that was possible. Our journey on tarmac was over and we headed off-road.
This is not crazy off-roading.
It's a comfortable ride though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like we're in...
Well, it's leaf sprung.
Well, yeah, we saw that in the car park, yeah.
And it's not exactly, that's not cutting-edge technology, is it?
Ben
but
rescue.
Robust.
Short overhangs mean the approach and departure angles, i.e. how steep a hill you can tackle without ripping the bumpers off, is very impressive.
Okay, that seemed fairly easy.
Yeah, well, no, that was quite a deep hole.
Although a Land Rover Defender will cope with angles that are 12 degrees more hardcore, a useful feature for rescue teams trying to keep searching on foot to a minimum.
Now, you can imagine trying to do this now at night.
In the rain.
In the rain.
It has to be said the Hummer skipped up Snowdon's mountain tracks. We'd soon arrived at the grid reference where the stranded walker had been pinpointed.
We've taken the search and rescue as far as we can in a vehicle, so it's time to get out of the car and get searching on foot.
After a short hike, Lassie and the team had found our stricken climber, who was acting the part beautifully.
Now, this is where it gets important that our little adventurer here has only got a twisted ankle, because even though the Hummer's a big old thing on the outside, it's so badly packaged on the inside that there's no room for anything. So it means that Ranulph Fiennes here would have to be strapped to the roof rack to get them down the hill if they needed to be laid flat. It also means that with our little injured party, one of these lads, they're walking back down.
Imagine if she needed to be laid flat and treated on the way down the hill. In a Hummer, you got no chance. It also means that because she's got to keep her legs up, actually all three blokes are walking down.
Lassie here reckons when it comes to interior space, there's no substitute for a 9-seat Land Rover. That'll fit the rescue squad and a stretcher inside. In mountain rescue terms, the H3 is too limited in what it can carry to be a genuine off-road ambulance. Its abilities over rocks and boulders are a credit, but to be honest, there are other SUVs out there that are nicer inside, better built, better on-road, and just as good off it. You've got to really want a Hummer to buy an H3.